YOLO. It's better.
There's a guy stomping upstairs.
Real weird news. Volume 5. Sunday evening, May 16th. 60 Minutes finally aired a report on events which have been bubbling up since 2017. They did a comprehensive piece on the current admissions by U.S. government officials about UAP sightings and encounters with U.S. Navy pilots and ships dating back to the early 2000s. These news stories are becoming fairly commonplace as the UAP task force prepares its report for Congress. In the 60-minute story, a naval officer recounted her encounter in detail and how unsettling it was. USA Today also printed an article detailing recent revelations. Personally, I'm convinced we are on the cusp of some huge technological announcement. Shrouded in all this UAP talk, nothing ever manifests from this field after 60 plus years of government-sanctioned group and individual researchers trying to unravel the mystery. So what makes everyone so sure the government will come clean now? The waters have been muddied on this subject from the beginning, and it's going to take quite a bit of settling before we have any clarity. I'm trying not to get too sucked in. I'm trying to maintain perspective while remaining extremely curious. At the coveted spot.
Number 2.
Also this month, the New York Post reported on May 4th that the Department of Defense will be subject to outside oversight regarding their handling of the UAP situation. This comes in addition to the mandated congressional report the DoD will be presenting toward the end of June to Congress. This is a completely unprecedented move. Typically, matters controlled by the DoD stay within the organization. This is just one more tantalizing tidbit from an unfolding, confusing, and convoluted story. Luis Elizondo, former head of the secret government program to study UAPs, ATIP, as it was called, has been very vocal about the subject as of late. He revealed new details of his involvement with the program. He discussed a conversation he had with high-ranking officials, which proved to be strange indeed. Elizondo claims the official told him to stop looking into the subject because the phenomena was, in fact, demonic in nature. Number 3. The New Yorker published an article this month that the Dyatlov Pass mystery has finally been solved. The story has been talked about since it occurred in 1959. Art Bell had covered this story numerous times over the years. A quick summary of the story is this.
A group of experienced hikers/skiers set off on a sporting adventure in the mountains of Siberia and never returned. They were eventually found days later, and the seemingly bizarre circumstances around their injuries caused much conjecture.
Some of the more popular and weird theories for the 8 members' demise include
Soviet weapons testing gone awry, UFOs, the CIA, the KGB, indigenous tribes, bad moonshine, and Yeti.
Many natural explanations have been offered as well, such as avalanche. Douglas Preston has published a piece in the New Yorker this month that seems to logically explain the fate of the hikers. Each member of the group were all very experienced outdoorsmen, although they weren't all men. It appears their vast experience is ultimately what did them in. As the article points out, the more experience one has at these types of outings, the more fear one develops about the power of an avalanche. A snow slab off the mountain peak buried their tent. The members fled the tent, fearing the full-fledged avalanche was just on its way. They left the tent. They weren't wearing proper clothing. They couldn't find their way back, ultimately perishing in the extreme and sudden weather. So crazy that their experience is what did them in. Number 4. This month, Tim Banal of Banal of America interviewed Jack Brewer again for another stimulating and enlightening conversation. During the interview, the two discussed a once classified CIA program titled Palladium. It seems as though the documents were released to the public in 2008, disclosing this classified project. In a nutshell, the Palladium Palladium transmitter is a device that targeted Soviet-era radar systems. The covert program could fool radar into detecting objects that weren't there. It was able to project an object of any size or shape and have that object perform maneuvers not capable with a standard aircraft, obeying the laws of physics as we know it. Additionally, Brewer stated that in conjunction with the radar interference, the Navy would also release metallic high-altitude balloons to further confuse Soviet pilots. Keep in mind, this took place in the 1960s. Number 5. Ahead of his upcoming History Channel show, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, co-executive producer Brandon Fugel, and now owner of the property, wants everyone to know that something strange is definitely happening there. Art Bell covered this topic extensively in the late 90s, frequently having conversations with Colm Kelleher, head of NIDS. NIDS was the group responsible for documenting the occurrences on the ranch. Over 10 years ago, Fugel began talking with the former owner billionaire about purchasing the real estate. After years of negotiations, Fugel finalized the sale in 2016. Since that time, he has been monitoring the property himself and finding many of the same strange phenomena reported by Bigelow's NIDS team. Of course, Fugel has seen a flying saucer, in case you were wondering, and I'm sure his TV show will go into great detail about it. But the strangest thing by far that has been spotted on the property, to me, has been Post Malone. Bonus number 6. Strange lights seen in the sky over Michigan disturbed the residents of Grand Traverse County in early May. It turns out there is a much more mundane explanation rather than UAPs. Elon Musk's Starlink satellites are to blame for the sighting that caused panic in the locals. One resident stated,
"I don't know if you can see these, but there's a string of dots that's been going across the sky tonight, equally spaced, miles long, traveled the whole length of our viewing area silently."
Another resident expressed his opinion about the billionaire space ventures.
Musk needs to take his satellites and that doggy coin and hop on his little spaceship and disappear back to Mars where it belongs. I wish he'd just stop terrorizing small town America. Frankly, I'm surprised they didn't tap the man to guest host Jeopardy too. I'm so tired of seeing his face in my news feed every morning. I can't afford the stuff he's selling anyway.
Number 7. The B-Boys are back with a new album, ruminating on their favorite evening news programs of the past 40 years, from 2020 to Frontline and everything in between. The Beastlies are in your face like never before. Previously undiscovered tracks with the late MCB have been added with this incredible new offering.
Well, give a shout out to Morley Safer. Ed Bradley's not a nil away for Leslie Stahl's on another caper. And here comes Smelly Scott Pelly with the toilet paper. A minute, 60 minutes, a minute.